I'm back at Meru once again. I'm also here with Dr. Sam, and this is an update video of his house that he has now completed. He's just about to move in with his family, and I just wanted him to explain to us his journey of building his home, especially for those who are watching, who are in the stages of research, who are looking to build their dream home. You can use Dr. Sam as an inspiration, as a role model for your upcoming house. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sam to the channel once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, so today is the 19th of May.
Yes.
And just as you said that you'll move in towards the end of May,
Yes.
and here you are, you've achieved one of your goals. So how
Yes.
does that feel?
I'm very happy to be within my timeline. Actually, tomorrow will be the third month from the day we broke ground. So that will be exactly 3 months. And apart from a few MDF works, the house is ready. So by next week, by the end of next week, I should have spent a night here. And yeah, that's what I really wanted because the idea came up. I want this house and I didn't want to live. I spend a lot of time building. Yeah, so I'm very happy that I chose a method which was fast enough.
Yes.
And I should tell you, maybe later we'll have a conversation about the experience because I haven't stayed inside. So that's
Yeah.
another day to tell you how does it feel to spend in a alternatively built house, the experience, the roof, the walls, and so on.
Since I was here last month, to me, it seems like a big difference. I know you've spent quite a while here because this is your project, but for someone like me who was here last month, and now that I'm here, I'm seeing a massive difference. So let's talk about now the finishing of your home. The last time I was here, it was all precast panels, and maybe they were doing the roofing. So what have you done since then for your home?
So after we finish with the erection of the panels and doing the windows and the roof, we did the ceiling, which wasn't very cheap. Wood is not cheap actually. And then
this is a wooden.
we did the wooden the framework, and
Okay, the
then we did
trusses.
not just the ceiling.
Okay, okay.
You have a lot of 2x2 cypress frames, and the whole woodwork in this house cost me 125,000 shillings. So I would
Just
say
for the ceiling.
for the woodwork, for the ceiling, and we also use them for the buttons.
Yeah, yeah.
The trusses were done with steel because I wanted a lighter. It's lighter than wood, but the entire woodwork, all the timber we bought for this house cost me around 125,000. So that one was completed. I think there was a bit of it when you came here. So they did. We just used ceiling board, but I have a very good painter. They did it so well. You think it's gypsum, but I prefer ceiling board because it's a little more tolerant, for example, to moisture compared to gypsum. A drop of water will just mess up your gypsum.
Yeah.
But the finishing was done very well. You see how they did the lights, down lights, and so on. Yeah, so we did that. Then we painted. We did skimming inside, painted outside, and since there was no finishing done, it almost looks like Wallmaster. So that's the good thing about this.
This is not Wallmaster.
No. This is just a normal painting. I used there's a paint called the Weather Guard. One of these from either Crown or Plascon or Dura. They have that for
That
outside.
brand called the Weathercon.
Weather Guard is a bit more forgiving when it comes to water, as the word implies, Weather Guard. So we did that. We painted the windows. This color is called gunmetal, suggested to by my painter. And I think it's a nice one. So when it came to colors, my theme was brown and gray. They are my favorite colors.
Yeah. So what color would you call this bottom section?
It's called mouse gray from the codes. It's called mouse gray. The upper one is called silver gray. And I think they match well.
They do. They really do. And for the foundation, you plastered it and then you painted a black paint?
Yes, for the up to the level where the panels are held, we painted with actually bitumen.
This is bitumen. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And bitumen also is number one. It's the color is one factor, but the other one is also termite protection.
Yeah, and also it prevents any outside moisture from
Yes.
seeping inside there.
Yes, and it is very cheap. So we just painted that's actually 2 containers, 2 jerrycans. That's 10 liters of bitumen painted the whole house.
Yeah.
So I think it matches well the colors.
Yeah, I like how it contrasts with the wall,
Yes.
and also it matches with the fascia board, the
Yes.
gutters. You wanted a black
Yes.
color to them.
Yeah, most people like doing white. I don't know why, because after a few years you have to paint. It usually shows dust. I wanted something different. And you see, even my ceiling is, the outside ceiling is brown.
Yeah.
Chocolate. It matches with the roof.
Maybe if we can just come to this space. So where we are about to stand here. So what would you call this space?
This is a veranda, and I wanted my veranda to be within the building. I didn't want to protrude. As you notice, I just have a nave. I wanted to have enough compound for children playing, for whatever else I may want to do. And this place, actually, this part of Meru, is the most expensive, call it neighborhood in Meru.
Wow.
So land here is very expensive. Actually, land cost me 30% of the total construction. So I wanted to maximize.
So it's that expensive.
Yes.
Buying this land.
Yes. So I wanted to maximize on the land. That meant I wanted to have as much space as possible remaining.
So you have a lot of front space.
Yes. And after COVID, something came up as a concept in construction, which is called outdoor living. Because it was noted that the amount of air pollution inside is 5 times more than outside. So encouraging people to spend more time outside is healthier. Yeah, so I wanted a compound. Children can go out and play. They don't have to spend so much inside. But you see, most people build a very big house
that occupies most of the land space.
Yes, there's no compound to play in. Or probably I can set up a gazebo at the corner there. And
you have sufficient space for that.
Yes, or I can just do a shed where probably I can do an outside kitchen. Anything else, I have the space for that.
Okay.
Just a nave.
Wow.
Yeah.
So since you're about to move in and you've also done the finishing, what was the most expensive part for when building this house? Was it the foundation, the walling, the roofing, the finishing? What component?
Actually, I should mention several.
Yes.
Foundation, let's say it's expected. It's supposed to be strong enough. The roof was expensive because of the type of roof I wanted. So probably if I had done a box profile roof, it would have been very cheap. But my roof cost me roughly, I would say around, everything included, around 500,000 went to the roof.
What about the eco tiles?
The eco tiles. The eco tiles cost around, for the number of eco tiles I used here, came to around 280,000. So the rest is woodwork, ceiling not included. So ceiling probably was another 50,000, let's say 100,000, because of the wood and the labor. So the roof probably 500, everything including the ceiling would be around 600 or
600,000.
Yes.
What about the walling, the precast panels?
The panels, well, I have the figure somewhere, but the panels per se, I bought together with the wall panels and the fence panels and the H-beams. All that cost me slightly around 700,000.
Okay.
That's not including the labor. But the total building before I did the roof cost me around 2 million. The walling up to finishing was 700,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so some were saying the wall can, okay, they've been given different quotes, but you may...
For you spent, for the fence, you spent how much?
700.
700.
Yes. And I would say probably half of that was doing the groundworks before actually putting the panels and the
H columns.
Yes, and that is, well, if half of it went to the foundation, to the strip foundation and everything else, and digging and, levels, because it was different levels, it tells you that if I had done everything with that, it would have taken much more.
Much more.
Especially doing the the columns, because you still have to do columns the traditional method.
Yeah.
And you have to use chuma, do a lot of bow.
And you also have to import a lot of sand and
Yes.
and all the aggregates needed to make the columns.
And the labor would be massive.
Okay.
So when it comes to figures, the two actually were concurrent. As they were digging the strip foundation for the fence, they were doing for the house.
Okay.
So probably when it comes to quantifying the actual amounts which went where, especially when I bought the sand, I bought the ballast, they were being shared. So some figures may probably not be exact, but the rough figures are 700 for the fence, 2M for the structure, including foundation and the panels, and the frame, the
framework
trusses.
of the
If you had the roof, probably you'd say 2.6 before you come to finishing, which, to be honest, I spent a huge chunk, probably another 2M on finishing.
Was it worth it in the end?
Yes. As I said, I actually wanted to be in this locality. It has many advantages, school being one of them, access to amenities. So I am downsizing by coming here from a much larger property because I wanted to be in the right place. I still believe location is everything. So
that's true.
Yes.
And since you're in the posh part of Meru, I think once you are this house you've moved in, and it will increase its value tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this place is growing. Actually, as you notice, Isiolo is just 30 kilometers this way. And there is a very, I hope Isiolo will one day be a capital of Kenya somehow. Not necessarily economic, maybe legislative, or maybe the executive will be there. But essentially, this is the future because Nairobi is congested. And people are noticing it. And so the land values are increasing because Isiolo is a bit arid. Most people will not actually live within Isiolo. They live in Meru.
So now here.
Yes. Okay. So the value of land here is going to go higher.
Yeah. And
properties here will be, more expensive. So if I didn't do this now, it will be more expensive to do it in the future.
Okay.
Yes, this is my living room. I tried to demarcate actually with the different tiles. So these tiles demarcate the sitting area, which should sit at least a 7-seater. We do the remaining actually major work is doing a TV stand. We want to do it the MDF with some shelves.
Okay. So that's the purpose of this step.
Yes, the next step is for doing a TV stand, which should be actually up by today. Yes. Then we have a dining table will be put there where I've demarcated. So I've used a different set of tiles for the dining table and the circulation space, essentially, because the seats will be facing the TV. So when somebody comes in, they just walk. If they want to go to the dining or to the kitchen or to the bedrooms, they don't interfere with the people watching TV.
Yeah.
I find many people build houses where the entrance, one has to walk across, the TV space, and that interrupts. Maybe somebody is watching something. So I like it when somebody here can concentrate on whatever is happening there.
Okay.
Yes.
You wanted the open plan type of concept for the living room and the dining and the kitchen.
Yes. I think that enhances the whole idea of family. Because let's say when the children grow up, it's you and the spouse. The spouse is there cooking, hidden. You are here watching TV. That doesn't feel nice for the modern day. Nowadays, people, even when they're cooking foods like githeri, you can cook them in a normal kitchen like that without having to fear the smoke and everything.
Yeah.
And then you can be doing it together. Maybe they're even watching news as they cook because the TV is not so far.
Yeah.
I didn't want a huge house. Actually, I am a subscriber to the tiny home or tiny house movement. This is still a 4-bedroom house, but you'll see the floor space is very small square meters.
Oh, this is the whole house is 130 square meters.
Yes, including the laundry space. Yeah, so you see that is comparatively small, but I tried my best to make use of the space. And the other thing you notice is that I separated the living room and let's say the common areas from the private areas so that there's enough privacy for everybody involved.
Okay.
Yes.
So you also wanted big window spaces
Yes.
for natural light.
Yes, and as you notice, the window, there are only two, but the room is big. Even if you were to put off all the lights, you would notice that the room is still
bright.
Yeah, and this is because I maximized on the location of the windows. The other thing is, you notice the wall for the TV is complete, as in there's no window around it, and this is actually recommended. In my profession, we want to take care of. You have to look at the health aspects, and the TV should never face a window, because when that happens, you are getting glare from outside. You don't want TV very close to a window next to you, because you're also facing the window and the radiation from outside. It's not healthy. It gives strain.
It's harmful for the eyes.
Yes. So I practice what I preach.
Yeah, actually, someone commented below your video previously that you were a doctor. And when I came here, I didn't know that you were a doctor.
Yeah, that was one of my students. I used to teach at the Kenya Methodist University.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to look at the aspects of safety.
Yeah.
And, a house is an organism. So we need to look at it as part of us.
Yeah.
And you notice my windows are also tinted a bit, because this is facing the sun in the evenings. I don't want too much heat in the house.
Okay. This is not a gypsum ceiling?
No. This is just ceiling board. In terms of price, they are actually the same. But gypsum needs a lot of work, especially how it's fixed. There are a lot of decorations people do.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it. I wanted a minimalist view to, my philosophy. Actually, I believe construction is a worldview. It's a philosophy in a way.
Yeah.
So it expresses what you stand for. Do you stand for extravagance? Do you stand for idealism, environmental conservation, nature, and so on? So I wanted a simple way of doing things, but still have everything you need. Because as you notice, we have downlighters, we have wall brackets, and we still have the main lights.
Yeah.
So one at the living area, sitting area, another one at the dining, and then we still have more from the kitchen, the corridors. So I try to maximize on lighting.
Okay.
And depending on what you are doing, you can choose this light or that. So I at least wanted there to be some versatility.
Fantastic. What's the color that you chose for your wall?
There are two colors. This is called, I'm trying to remember the name. There are so many codes. It's not actually cream. These companies have very many shades of the same color. So this one I know is called Hash. It's a kind of gray. This
Almost
one
resembling white, but it's gray.
Actually, it's more towards gray. This one is more towards cream, but it's a name. It's just that Magnolia. Magnolia, yes. Okay. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I liked it, but it was like just fitting with the tiles and the warmth. Yeah. These are warm colors, but they're still neutral. They're not polarizing, like red, blue, green.
They're not that harsh.
Yes.
Okay. So if you can head here.
Yes.
Now we are heading, where I'm standing right now is at the dining.
Yes.
And then this will be the counter.
Countertop for the kitchen.
And also for the dining?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The kitchen is still a work in progress, but probably by the end of today they will be done. So by the time you came, we didn't have this countertop. So this will be we'll put a cooker here. Probably just a for burner, but I think maybe even a 6 burner could fit there. I'm yet to know.
You're yet to know.
But for the...
But yeah, from the space of it, it looks like it can fit a 6 burner.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll put a fridge here. This space probably could even fit a 2-door fridge.
Yeah,
And
it's sufficient enough.
Yes, and you'll be left with enough circulation space, shelves, and
The cabinetry, they're still ongoing.
Yes, but I think this is my...
Maybe if you can come, this is the pantry.
Yes, and I love it for one or two reasons. This is an idea I actually got from Pinterest. And for a house without a lot of space, you can still maximize. As you notice, I don't have a lot of overhead shelves. I find like they crowd the house. I would have done them probably here, but I even access, some people are short, they will not be able to access.
Okay.
Something can fall as you're getting it from up there.
So you prefer to have it, have this kind of space where everything is organized.
Yes.
And it also removes the clutter caused by the cabinets.
Yes. Okay. So we're actually planning to put a door, an MDF door. There'll be two. Yes. But the shelving, I think, is fairly sufficient. You can put your sack of potatoes down there, and any other big thing can be put there. Then you have enough shelves. You even have a socket inside there for, should you want to probably put something. Maybe we could even put a microwave there. There people do, but we have enough.
There are sockets there, I can see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this compensates for my lack of overhead shelves. And
it's sufficient storage space.
Yes. And it's just a corner pantry. Imagine the pantries that you see in many houses are huge spaces.
Yeah.
And I wanted to reduce my footprint because I want to preserve a lot of compound. That's why I chose something like this. And it's also accessible. You are cooking, you discover you need this, just open there. You don't have to go to another room and come and
everything is self-contained within the kitchen.
Yes.
You know, the last time I was here, it was all panels. I remember they were doing some plastering works here.
Yes.
But now seeing the transformation,
yes,
it looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do some drawers here. This will be just to add, maybe that's where you put your cutlery. You are serving food, you want to get the spoons directly. And then this space, as you notice, has been tiled. This is for putting the waste paper bin, waste bin.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have stuff you want to put somewhere. You just put them there. You don't clutter everywhere. It's not in everybody's face.
Will it also be covered with MDF?
Not necessarily. No, that one won't be, because sometimes your hands are dirty. You just peeled something and you want to discard. So you don't want to go and open. You just want to come. Probably the bin is the pedal bin. You step on it, it opens. You dump your
stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to imagine. I'm using the room. How would I want it? Yes.
I understand. You thought about a lot of things.
We have we'll do when you do the cooker, we'll put what do they call it? That's for the chimney. The vent for the hood.
The hood.
Yeah. Okay. So when you place a hood there, we put we channel the vent through there so that we get the smoke outside. Then I think we'll see the pantry, the laundry on our walk around. That's where we are storing a lot of the materials for now. But the space there, something else I did, you notice we don't have, if you're having, let's say, a gas cooker here, it's not safe to put the gas
within the just next to the heat.
Yeah, or within the building because of leakage.
Okay.
So we did it outside. We cut the panels. There's space there, unfortunately, because of the clutter, it will not be visible. So in this corner space here, which is most of the time inaccessible, from the outside, we'll be putting the gas. Then we'll make holes
for the pipe.
We'll make a hole for the pipe to come here. So I wanted a situation where I still have the mtungi, but it's outside.
It's outside.
Yeah, so
in case of anything,
yes,
you're safe.
If it leaks, it just goes out there. So there will be no risk to people inside. And also, as you notice, it's not taking extra space. So this is maximizing on space. I think it's Abraham Lincoln who said the future is for the people who know how to make use of the smallest spaces.
You keep on saying small, but when you're here, I think it's because of the ceiling height, the abundant natural light. To me, it feels spacious, and also the open plan concept.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel restrained. This kitchen, yeah, it actually feels like it's part of the dining and the living room. altogether.
Yes, probably when we put furniture, it may look different. Who knows? You may visit it when we have already moved in
Okay.
and see the difference.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a corridor to the, now call it, sleeping and private areas. So this house has 3 washrooms. This is the guest washroom, and for the visitors, as well as maybe a guest who's sleeping in.
Okay.
So it is, maybe I can get inside.
Yeah.
So there's a water closet, there's a bathroom here, and you notice there's still enough light, despite it being a bit recessed from outside. Yeah, so that's another advantage of a very high. The reason I wanted a very high ceiling, so that I get more light from outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one we just do shower curtain. I didn't want to do glass because, safety, washing, and so on. I wanted to reduce maintenance.
Maintenance, yeah.
Yes. So this is a guest bedroom, yet to be finished. So this will be we assume a guest bedroom just needs like a 4x6 bed.
Yeah.
So it will have its bedside switch here. There will be a socket for whoever is spending the night here. And then we are going to do more shelving here. This is the remaining, which should be done by tomorrow.
Oh, what kind of shelving?
Actually, I just want to do like a table. We'll see it in the other rooms. The idea is somewhere somebody can sit and read. Maybe put some books there. We'll do more shelving here. These are wardrobes. We've done sliding doors. They are not yet complete, but they will complete the others. So these are the remaining works, which should be over in the next 2 or 3 days.
When are you about to come in?
I want to move in next week. So probably from Monday or Tuesday, I'll start bringing in the furniture.
Yeah.
So that by the end of the week, I'm fully in.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You can say the house is like 98% done.
Yes. There are a few remaining things, especially outside, which will be sorted in time.
Yeah.
So there's another water closet here. And this one is designed to be for, assuming you have children, you don't want them to share the toilet with the visitors. Because, visitors, you don't know who's coming in, their health status and so on. So we have one which can be for the children of the family. These 2 bedrooms are equal in size. And the plan is almost like the other one. But now these toilets are different. First of all, the hand wash basin is outside, which is actually healthier in most circumstances, because as it has also been noticed, when you flush a toilet, there's a lot of bacteria which gets shot into the air. So we want to reduce that by putting it outside where space allows. The same thing with the guest toilet. And then you notice there's no step in this toilet. They are still doing the paint works. This is their store. But the idea here is to be an accessible bathroom or toilet. Let's say you have somebody who's wheelchair bound. Yeah. They can walk in. A wheelchair is usually 2 feet wide.
It's convenient for them.
Allow them to go in. And then they just wheel themselves to the bathroom. I'm going to put some support on the wall where they can sit on a stool, for example, and shower. So this is made for somebody who is not, so
it's meant for the kids and also for the
disabled, or somebody temporarily, probably they are sick, they are on crutches or wheelchair. This is meant for them. And you ensured that the plumbers, when they were doing the leveling, the water flows to we made sure that we have our slope right, so that, and as you notice, the shower head is quite far from the door, so there's no way the water will get here. We'll still do a shower curtain, so that when somebody's in the bathroom, the water doesn't come back. Okay. Yes. So maybe you can head into this room. This is a bedroom for the, let's say, one child. So this can be the 4x6 bed can be here with their socket there. Their switch and a socket, and they can sit here and read. So this is what you were, the idea in the previous room? Yes. This was your idea? Yes, I wanted as many shelves as possible. They can have their books here. They can they have a socket for a laptop.
Yeah.
And
this is now like a desk space for them.
Yes, that's the leg space. One can put, let's say, a suitcase there inside that space, and they still have enough shelving. They're going to put those up there. So this one, if you look at it, you still have a lot of circulation space there, and the bed is here.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's so bright. I like how bright this room is.
Yes, and it's only 10 by 12 feet. Yeah, so you maximize on it. You also notice the way I do my doors is that when one opens the door, many people have the tendency of the door opening to the wall, so that when somebody is passing and the door is not fully open, they see you.
They see you.
But you see, in this case, when you open the door,
you see the wall first.
By the time, assuming you're in bed and you're not fully dressed, you have enough time to cover yourself before the door is fully open to expose you.
Yeah.
So I did that. The space behind here is enough. One can even put a shoe place here. So it's not waste of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I designed my doors in such a way that they allow maximum privacy in the rooms.
In the rooms.
Yes. And as you noticed, I would have had the option of making this. I could have probably separated this and had this as ensuite and the other one as ensuite, and then opened the door to the outside here. But doing that would have interfered with the privacy of these rooms, because you are opening into the corridor where somebody there will see you. Maybe you haven't had time to plan yourself. Number two, this area, being expensive as it is, water is sometimes a challenge. So if
really,
yes, I will have to. I've done tanks, you see outside. So I wanted also to be in a position to make sure there isn't wastage. For example, if you have ensuite rooms and you really want to make sure everybody is responsible enough to switch off the water, switch off the lights, that means entering into somebody's private space to check is a bathroom. And this from experience. Somebody came, a guest came to the house one day, the house where I'm moving from, which is most rooms are ensuite. Left the lights on. I discovered after 2 days. So I want a situation where I'm passing, I can see the light is on in the toilet, and that's why all these doors have those vents. I can tell when the light is on. If there is leakage or if the water has been left running, I would know. As you notice, I chose these ones because they reduce water wastage. If somebody forgets you don't have to close the tap. So that's why I prefer that. The only place where I don't use this is the master bedroom. We assume the master bedroom, whoever is there is responsible enough not to do this. So this is, in my opinion, the best way to do our house where there will be children. We can't expect to have your conservation idea in mind. Okay. Yes.
Maybe you can briefly enter a bedroom 3.
Yes. This is just a replica of the other one in everything, size, and the way the wardrobes are done, the amount of space. Yeah. So the wardrobes are actually just 4 feet, but we assume the clothes you can't hang, you can put in the shelves. Yeah. And you notice that there are other shelves to the corner there. So shelf space is sufficient in my opinion. And I think because of they are in one area, they don't look so crowded.
It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we are left with the master bedroom.
With the master. So the master, before the master bedroom, there's something that I've always treasured in a house. And that is what I may call just a nook for, where do you want to iron your clothes? Where do you want to put stuff maybe to be picked later by others? And this space here, we are going to do a shelf space here, somewhere to iron clothes.
Okay, maybe the mic can come and see this.
Yeah. So we do an ironing space here with some shelves down. This one also, this one is to be revised a little to go up a bit, but we'll do, these shelves are, for example, you have ironed clothes for child 1, we put their clothes there. Child 2, so they come later and pick their own stuff. Okay. Yeah, so you don't have the ironing in the rooms. So I feel
everything is controlled in one place.
Yes. Probably from the space down there, we could even make it a shoe rack down there for their shoes. and use this space more. Or we can have a place for putting dirty clothes here, which can be taken for washing.
I like how you've creatively used this space and also other spaces within the rooms.
Yeah.
For other functions. You know, someone would have left this for just to be a wall, but now you've thought of it to be the ironing center.
Yes.
Okay, and also the folding.
Yes. So shelves. I think storage space is enough. Actually, as you notice, what if maybe we had more than 2 children, for example? I feel the best way to use space is vertically.
Vertically.
Can do a double decker, and that's why I wanted a high. If you can't expand horizontally,
you go up.
Yes. So, and you say, let's say you have 4 children or 5. Let's say 4. It's more in this modern world. 4 makes more sense. You can have 2 double deckers. Maybe the boys, the girls, unless the numbers are otherwise. Okay. But that's why I designed it such that you just have a space for a 4x6.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this is the master now. The master is also quite compact. It has a master bathroom.
Okay.
Because of space, we had to include the hand wash basin inside. But ideally, when somebody is flushing the toilet, they should have the lid down to prevent all that extravasation of microbes. And then, as you notice, I put 2 windows for maximum light.
Yeah.
One for the toilet and one for the bathroom, so that I could have this. And the reason I decided to do a wall is not to do glass, because this is easier to clean. This is less fragile. Let's say you fell for some reason, you won't break. Yes. So
this is a precast panel.
This is a panel. You just did the tiles. So even if you put a curtain here, we can just draw it. You don't have to see it. Yeah. So you just draw it back when you're about to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, I find shower curtains are less risky and easier to clean than having to do a glass cubicle. So this is for the master. We decided to do 2 sets of wardrobes for him and her. Some of them are thin. So this is, assume this is for him.
Yes.
Because for him, we don't expect so many clothes. So one side has, you can have, for example, you have your coats here or your shirts. The other side, you have something else. Then you have shelves and you have drawers. So we assume 4 drawers are enough for him.
For him.
Yes.
Now this is for
her. 6 feet of space there. More, there is drawers down and place for shelves. So this one is just one. We put one because the one thing you need to cover is probably your shelves. You put, your jeans, everything else. So you don't want them. You need them covered.
Yeah.
But the drawers can be left open. Yes. So the bed will be here. We assume a 5x6 bed.
A king size bed. Eh?
Yeah, I think 5x6 would be,
okay,
manageable. So that when you put the bed here, there is space for one to walk out. They have their socket. Another one on this side. Yeah, this one. Oh, yeah. So we have this one and we have the wall brackets. So depending on the mood, you can choose which. I put wall brackets where you can actually change the bulb. If you want maybe to have a green or a red color, you can do it. It's possible. Then more shelf space here. This is intended for books, for example, and maybe a TV. The TV I have in mind here is, let's say, for CCTV. And that's why you have a socket here for future. If I decide to do, for example, electric fence, I can have my controller here. It's usually something light, so it can be the socket there, and there's actually a cable it's a pipe to the outside. Okay. So that you just connect it here and pipe goes and you do your fence. Yeah. So here one can sit there with their laptop and do something. Yeah, so that is the intention of that space.
Will this be open?
Yes, it's intended for books, so we don't intend to cover it. Yeah, so and also because the bed is, the amount of space left there after you put your bed will be just around 2 feet. Just walk around space. So if we covered it, it will be hard to open.
Okay.
Yes. So since it's not for clothes, books or whatever else you may want to put there, we felt it's best left open. There's still enough shelf space up there for books, so they are still doing the painting. As you noticed, I prefer to paint rather than putting. There's a strip.
There's a strip they put here to protect the MDF. I know.
Yes.
I know that strip.
Yeah, but
So,
then
but you prefer
it comes out
So this
most
is the
times.
so this is the paint that you
Yes.
use. Eh?
They paint, they do something called sanding sealer, and they paint. And when they paint, it actually becomes waterproof. So I find it's a better option than using the strip where you have to do a lot of glue. And somehow it will always come. And I also prefer the edges to be less sharp because of also safety. So the ones with serious corners, you can hit yourself there and hurt yourself. Yeah, so they're still doing it. I think by the end of the day, they'll be done with the painting.
The paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something else people should appreciate in building safety. You notice this is a grill, but it's actually openable. What if there was a fire or for some reason I can't get out of the house through other routes? How will I escape from this room? So this is a safety grill. If I lock here, somebody can't get in, a thief, for example. But let's say there's an emergency and I want to get out of this room. I can undo the lock
And then you can escape.
and escape through here. I think this can fit a normal person.
You're the only person I think I've met who's done something.
Yeah, so
like I said before, you've thought about many things, many aspects.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I have this in the main bedrooms, the children's bedroom, as well as this for safety. So I haven't done it in the guest bedroom because the guest is
okay.
Maybe they could be a security risk themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one just needs to lock that and have the key somewhere within the house, within the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that in case we don't pray it happens, but in case
you need to escape, maybe there is a fire, there's something, you can use the main door, you can go through there.
Okay.
Yes. I suggested this to my mentors, my welder, and he did it, and I think he did a good job.
Yeah, actually, if you hadn't pointed that out, I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
So because someone just sees this,
they think it's a normal grill.
Yeah, they think it's a normal grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important to consider something like that because we want to keep the bad guy out, but we also want to
factor in the emergency situations.
Yes. Laundry area. As you notice, it's quite big, around 10 feet. 10 feet by around 4.5 feet. This is where we have our clutter, but we'll have it done with by the end of the weekend. We have a tap and a socket for the washing machine, and that's where we'll have our gas
that's where
cylinder. Actually, the space is such that it can fit 2 cylinders. Sometimes you want one is over.
Yeah, you have a spare.
Yes, so we did it there. And we can leave it open actually because this is a closed up space, or we could put a grill there later. So we decide that later. This space also, as you notice, this is where our electricity
the main junction box is there.
Yes, and the reason is that apart from where the steamer comes from, in case I decide to do solar panels, for example, for electricity, I can do my panels there. I can create space to put batteries in the corner there, and then I connect with the mains. I just need a changeover switch.
Yeah.
So that is taken care of because you never know the future.
You've already thought about the future. You future-proofed yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
wanted to talk about the eco-tiles. So will you leave it like this?
Yes,
because this is a fantastic finish.
Yes, I like the industrial feel of not everything is complete and hidden.
Yeah.
And also to testify to what we have done inside. I think this is best left like that. Yeah, I mean it's like maybe jeans are done with the seams outside. It gives it a its own utilitarian feel, and that's what I wanted to replicate here.
Okay. Right. We've also done something here.
Yeah, this is the ironing space. Sorry, washing, hanging space.
The hanging space.
Yeah.
And this is the polycarbonate.
This is the usual transparent roof, which, you know, because it's almost transparent, light rays can pass and your clothes can dry, but it's not so dark, and your clothes will not be rained on. Yeah. I got this idea from Pinterest, and that's a fantastic one.
Pinterest is a minefield for ideas.
Yes, and then you can forget your clothes. It starts raining.
You don't have to rush, and
yes,
when it starts raining, you start plucking the clothes from the lines, and then
yes. So, and it's done such that you can fit probably as many clothes as the number of people in the house have. Yeah, so just on a small space. Most people do just, one long line. I preferred many, and a bit short for strength.
Yeah, and it also minimizes the space.
Yes, the amount of space left is sufficient. So as you notice, we decided to pour maram instead of doing cabro, for example. I'm not planning to do cabro in the compound because cabro is, first of all, it won't allow water drainage. So your water will all have to go, out to the road. Number two, this is more of a shock absorber. If a child fell on this, they are less likely to be harmed compared to falling on cabro. And third, this actually, you may find actually vegetation growing later. And cabro is, it adds to the urban island effect because it all reflects. There's no room for even vegetation. And that one just makes the entire compound hot. So when you have less cabro, less concrete in the compound, you reduce that urban heat effect. And of course, you didn't want it to be, normal soil because it will be muddy. And when you wash, the water drains and, you can't step on it. So we prefer to have cabro, maram.
Okay.
Yes.
For the fence, will you do any sort of finish? Or will you leave it like this?
Well, I think for now I'll leave it like that. In future, probably I may decide to paint. There's silicone paint from Crown, which is quite good. I've done it somewhere else, and 1 year down the line, it has never faded or come out. So I may decide to paint. That's when I'm in the house and settled and organize my finances. I might decide to paint it.
Paint it like
yes.
Okay. Okay. So I see you are trapping rainwater.
Yeah, my intention is to have. I'll have a bigger tank. This is the one I use for construction. So I'll get this is a 2,000 liter tank. I might get a 3 or 4,000, depending on whether it will fit on the space. Because it just needs a week's rain to fill it. Yeah, but since water is a challenge here, I really wanted to get
maximize.
Water. Yes. And then we have the upper tank is just 1,000 liters. That is for the solar water heater. There was a regulation, I don't know what's the situation at the moment, where at least every 3-bedroom house should have a solar water heater. Countries like Israel enforce that to the letter. And I think we should, just as we are enforcing other things in the country, we should enforce solar water heating because we reduce our electricity consumption. I remember once I stayed in a house where I was paying 4,000 shillings for water per month, for electricity. When I introduced a solar water heater, my bills went down by 60%.
Yeah, heating water requires a lot of electricity.
Yes.
And it's one of those activities that you do every day in the house. So if there's a way you can minimize the electricity interaction with water, it saves your bill.
So as you notice, there are 2 pipes. All my bathrooms have been already piped for solar water heating.
Water for the hot water and the cold.
So it's actually, in the next 1 month, I should have it installed. Yes. So this main other tank is for the house, 2,000 liters. I think it's sufficient for a 4-bedroom house, for both the showers and the bathroom. Even if we do have water shortages in this area, they don't last for more than 2 or 3 days. So the water should be sufficient.
Fantastic.
So this was also part of the cost of building, which of course was separate from the precast.
Yeah.
But you can't do without this.
I like how you've painted brown on the steel frames and also for the ceiling.
Yeah, it
It
goes with
fits
my
with
theme.
with your idea, and also it kind of fits with the maram, with the color of the maram.
Yeah, the maram we have around here tends to be this brownish.
Yeah.
So probably now you could walk around.
Yeah.
You see so as you notice there are manuals. There are 7 in total. There are 2 on that side, and this one because that's the direction of the movement of sewage.
To the septic tank here.
Yes. So septic tank was finished immediately. We were done with the foundation. We started digging the septic tank. Yeah. So
was there a reason why you opted for the septic tank versus the biodigester?
Well, biodigester is good when you don't have enough space. I have experience with both biodigester and septic tank, but I felt septic tank is bigger and safer.
Safer for you.
If I had a biodigester, I would have had to separate my wastewater.
Yeah, you have to use only the toilet water will go inside.
Only toilet water and the other, which adds to the plumbing costs. And when it comes to biodigester, the cost of making one is not cheaper than doing this. Although probably I wouldn't have done a slab up here, but since I had the space, I felt it's safer. And the concept of biodigester and the concept of the septic tank are the same.
Are the same, yeah.
Yes, and
I usually call it a bioseptic tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the way I did my septic tank, I noticed most plumbers do it very differently. I actually went and read on the internet the whole concept, because you notice some people, because it's supposed to have 2 chambers, some don't have a complete chamber here. They separate. Funny ways of doing it. They put a beam, but I did it the way it is in the books, and it has worked. Because not this one, a previous place, 5 years down the line is still working. It hasn't even been evacuated. Evacuation actually means something went wrong. Yes. So.
And where is the soak pit?
The soak pit is down here.
Buried here.
We dug. It was wider than usual. Most people do just a 3 feet wide hole, the diameter, and then they go deep, probably 20, 30
I know.
feet. But in other countries there are 2 options. You can either do a septic, a soak drain, or a soak pit.
Yeah.
So a soak pit just means all the water has to go down and be drained down there. But when it's very rocky like it is here, you can't go deep. We actually went only 15 feet deep, but we made ours wider. It was around 7 by 6 feet wide.
So it's a drain.
It's more towards a drain.
Okay.
Actually, there are some even have fields, soak field, where you have enough land. But a drain is big enough because you have more surface area for draining down there.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was dug just as these panels were coming up. It was being dug. So for the sake of saving time, things were going concurrently. This is being done. They're doing the tank. They're doing the septic tank. They are doing the compound. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are now heading towards the main gate.
Yes.
This is actually a feature in itself.
Yeah. This is a sliding gate. Very easy to operate. The other gates which are there's a sliding. This is a sliding gate, and there's another type of gate, the usual, which come 2 of them. I'm trying to look for the one, but those ones need, when you're opening for somebody, you open this, then you have to come back and open the other one. That's a lot of work. I prefer this because you just pull it, and this is very easy to automate. So I've already done electrical works for it. So when we are done, we are going to put an electric motor here for it. So you already have the adapter box for it.
Okay.
So we just do the motor here, and they have a rail which will be welded down here, and I just come press a button and I open, I move it. As in, I can do it when I'm like
when you're coming from
20
the
meters away.
main road,
Yes. So that's why I prefer this type. Also, I have experience with it, so I knew it works. Yes, and it's a much cheaper gate to do than the others. As you notice, it has a Judas gate within it. Yeah, so
Okay.
when something happens, maybe electricity is off, you can't open the gate. You can just have your key, you open, and then you do it manually.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you need to lock,
And it blends well with the.
you can lock.
Yeah.
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 So the color is, well, it always depends on one's taste. But we might mix. After we are done completely, we might mix some colors here for the sake of not being too monolithic.
Okay. Oh, so this was a fantastic tour of your beautiful home. Is there something you can tell someone who is watching, who is just about to build their dream home? Any words of encouragement, any other things they should look out for before they start?
Yeah, number one, make Pinterest your social media of choice. It's so much done. This plan was a slight modification from one I saw on Pinterest. Yeah, I just, actually what I saw was a 4-bedroom house. The only thing I added was the extra toilet, the guest toilet, from the design I saw on Pinterest. So it's free. And
Just make Pinterest your best friend.
Secondly, take your time to visit. When I'm traveling, I am actually checking buildings.
Okay.
I get ideas. Can this work? This kind of roof, for example, or this design, or this water tank. So you get a lot of ideas from just observing, from what others have done. It's called vicarious learning, and it is the cheapest way of learning because it doesn't cost you anything. It just makes you more observant, and then you learn what works and what doesn't. Because if somebody has had it and it worked for them, why not for you? Yes.
Okay.
So the other thing you notice, one of the reasons I love this place is flat. So always consider safety when you are designing anything, because you're not the only one going to live there. You might have children or your grandchildren or visiting children. You need to make sure they are safe. As you notice, even my windows are a bit, they open about the casement windows are quite high. Reason being, when you open the windows and the child is running around, the child who can reach this window is much older, so they are more likely people who cannot be hurt. So assuming it was much lower, it would be more risky. So every step, think about safety. It's a crucial component of construction. And one of the best things about also precast, because there's less clutter in the compound, there's less harm to everybody else. Yeah, so those are things I think people should consider when they're building. And the last is maintenance. People do very posh houses, but do they look at the maintenance after that? You do white gypsum, maybe you use a lot of gypsum for your, say, the TV area, and you paint white, and dust is everywhere in Africa. You try to clean that area, you end up staining it or making it wet and spoiling it. A big house where your electricity bills are going to cost a bunch. So those factors all came in my decision. Somebody would ask, would it have been cheaper to do a story house? Actually, my original plan was a story house. But then I did the math and I realized for the same square footage, I would have still a 4-bedroom house. And I'm growing older. What if there's a day I can't go upstairs? Or sometimes I forget. You're upstairs, you've forgotten to take water. You have to imagine going down to the kitchen is a lot of work. So there are advantages to a bungalow over a story house. But that is taste.
That is personal preference.
Yes, and also space. If you have enough space to do a bungalow, it's actually cheaper sometimes to do a mansionette, by the way, because you save on the roof, you save on the foundation. Yeah, but then you realize a mansionette also needs more space because the staircase is actually equivalent of another room. Yeah, so, and privacy. There's more privacy in a bungalow. Because if I'm sitting outside to enjoy the sun in a mansionette, everybody can see me. I can see, but they'll also see me. But here I can sit here and nobody knows I'm even in the compound. So there
True.
are advantages to each and everything, but sometimes people should not let cost be the only determinant in deciding what they want to do. A day will come when money is there, and then you're stuck with this idea: I should have done this. I should have lived my dream. Not let money be the consideration. Especially when it comes to building, sometimes it's better to postpone your building and build your dream house than do a permanent structure, which is cheaper, and then you end up with regrets
Yeah.
because you cannot come and start revising walls and so on. That is it.
So, Dr. Sam, that was a wonderful tour. Even me, I didn't know that Pinterest was that important. So, so for those who are watching, make Pinterest, use it to your advantage. You'll get ideas there. And also from you, we've gotten a lot of ideas about your house, what you've done, and how proud you are that this is now a finished home. So, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't want to make it any longer. So, yeah, subscribe, like, do all that, all those things that YouTube loves. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.